we're going to the next to last city of our tour, which is the German capital of Berlin. Reunited and reborn, it's a great city to see. Don't be scared away by the fears of construction. Yes, there is a lot of building still going on in Berlin, but a lot of the work has already been done, so now it's a great place to visit. Greeted by a Bavarian-style band. We've just left southern Germany, heading north to Berlin, but the Münchners are following us. They're having some kind of celebration here in town, some sort of a political rally, we believe. So the Münchners are out in their full regalia, doing what they love best, sitting around, drinking beer and listening to music. We're at the Potsdamer Markt, famous for its French church. We hop into the Berlin Metro, which is a convenient way to get around town. Take the U-Bahn, and you can get from one side of the city to the other very quickly, and you might even be entertained while you're on board. Coming up at the Hackescher Markt, this is a collection of buildings that dates back to the turn of the century, to 1906. At that time, it was an industrial warehouse kind of area. Now it's an Art Deco masterpiece, fully restored and filled with shops and restaurants, the Hackescher Markt. It's interesting in the daytime as well as on late into the evening. It's become a very trendy part of town. Another incredible part of town is the Potsdamer Platz, totally reborn, ultra-modern structures. Sony has put up a city of the future here, as has Mercedes, Daimler. There's a lot of buildings still under construction at the Potsdamer Platz, but even now it's worth your time to go over there and have a look at this futuristic complex. Breakfast at the Savoy Hotel, then we're off on our city tour with a local guide.
We're going to see the former east and western part. I mean, there is no east and no west no more, normally. But there's still animosity between East and West Germans because it can't grow together within 10 years, which was separated for 50 years. And I want to have my wall back because I was comfortable in former times. Yeah, people need it. People like to have it comfortable and easy. Now everything is complicated in Europe. For example, the Soviet Union. Weapons, drugs, and prostitution. That's a Russian mafia. I'm not a racist. My family is from Poland as well. But these are matter of facts. And the new advertising of the Polish tourist office, come to us to Poland. Your car's already here. And if you move to the outskirts of Berlin, the city becomes more rural. Looks quite nice. We have many old village churches. By the way, we have 500 churches. Of course, no toilets. In former times the people didn't wash. They use perfume and powder, but when everybody's not washing, it's maybe all right again. Gentlemen, in a few minutes we're going to see the Berlin Wall and we'll make a photo stop there. Wall. Let's go back in history again. In 1949, both German states were founded, East and West Germany. Nearby, but not here. So you can really make interesting historical walks here through that area. This is very old. So this is 80 years ago, huh? 90 years ago.
Our guide points out that among the other differences between East and West Berliners are some language differences.
We say when we are allowed to drive a car, Führerschein. That's just the license. In East German it's Fahrerlaubnis. You get allowed to drive. So it's very funny, very different words in East and West.
It's fascinating to see even today the differences between East and West Berlin, and yet the city has really been unified as a whole. Another view of Potsdamer Platz that we saw in the evening, that city of the future built by Sony and Daimler-Benz. And now another view of Berlin from the top of a double-decker open-top tour bus. This is the Reichstag. It's the Capitol building where the Parliament's meeting. It was severely damaged in World War II and since been rebuilt by the architect Norman Foster. Driving along the main busy shopping street of town, the Kurfürstendamm, a view of the Dom, the Berlin Cathedral that was nearly leveled in World War II and Took 20 years to rebuild it, and now once again it's reopened for services. It was built as the Protestant version of St. Peter's Cathedral, so it's a grand structure. There's a large collection of museums near the Dome Cathedral. It's called Museum Island. They have classical Greek and Roman. In particular, there's the Pergamon Museum and the Old History Museum. There's the Art Museum. There's a lot of Impressionist paintings as well as beautiful sculptures in there. Berlin is definitely an arts capital of Europe. The collections are scattered through a half a dozen major museums and then dozens of smaller spaces and galleries. Housing in Berlin is typically high-rise apartments, as you see here, and we're on our way out of town now. That's it for our quick look at Berlin.